What if Deku joined Team JPDE? Chapter 37. Rematch against the Guardian. Sunday. Day 112. Alright. Professor Peach, you cover our retreat here. Everyone, keep your comms on at all times. If anything happens, you're the only one who can protect this location on her own, Jack said. If I need help, I'll holler, Miss Ivory. Now have fun, and don't let the metal monsters bit you, Peach said. You're joking, but that may actually happen, Evelyn said. Everyone else laughed, except David. Team JPDE plus Titania then started to explore the market area of Peak. Once again. Such meticulous effort to preserve the beauty of this place, Penny said. While stripping it all of human presence, Evelyn said. Let's stick close. I don't want anyone wandering off on their own, Jack said. Oh my gods. Plants. Fruit and flowers and vegetables. How can anything grow properly here without insects? Titania asked. A thought. Maybe the insects are hers, Jack asked. You mean she also takes care of pollination? Just how much control does she have on what goes on in this city? Titania asked. I think she controls everything, and that's why she doesn't like us here. She can't control us, Jack said. Workshops. This place must have been full of life, and now it's a place frozen in time, Deku said. She even preserved their tools. It's like she's playing with a dollhouse, Jack said. Hey. I think I found the source of the water. There's hydraulics going into the lake, here. See? And if pyroobsidian slipped inside of it, Evelyn said. This must be connected to the mines, somehow, Jack said. It's most likely that pyroobsidian runs at least from the mines to here. I bet it runs all under Peak, Deku said. We should probably take a sample. Professor Peach may need it to test the serum if she, Penny said. Okay, time out. Why are you so goddamn silent? Titania asked. David had been lost in his thoughts. You've barely said a word since we've departed. You're being more of a creep than this entire city, Titania said. Hey. Don't you dare talk smack to my boyfriend, Evelyn angrily said. Hey, we're almost surely probably assuredly walking into a trap, here. If he has something on his mind, he'd better shit or get off the pot, and soon, Titania said. Partner, Titania is right. You've been like this since Friday, and I should have brought this up sooner, Jack said. David, is something wrong? Penny asked. Okay, fine, I thought you'd at least come to me with it, but nope. What's eating you? Evelyn asked. Deku, David said. Yeah, Deku asked. Have you ever thought that? David said. Something then began to move in the water. The water. There's something in the water, Evelyn said. Typical, Titania said. On the other side of the markets was the girl. I knew you'd show up again. Which, the girl said. Maiden, thank you. And my name is Amber, Amber said. It doesn't matter, anyway. You won't be able to help them this time, the girl said. Oh. So you learned to multitask? Amber asked. No. But I planned around it, the girl said. What does that mean? Amber asked. I sacrificed regeneration for durability, the girl said. You're not going to try and heal your creation? Amber said. I won't need to. They won't be able to put a scratch on it, the girl said. On another side of the markets. Oh. That's not fair. Why is that kid going all out on them? I wanted another go at Evelyn. And the stud, Andrea said. Evelyn. David. Deku. You'd better survive this. We have lots of catching up to do, Howard. Back with Team JPDE and Titania. The mass. The size of it is on a whole other level compared to the previous one, Penny said. Well, at least I'm standing, this time. Bring it on, Titania said. Oh my gods, look at that shadow, Evelyn said. Partner, whatever it is, I need you to snap out of it, now, Jack exclaimed. Whatever it is, you need to put it aside for now. To be the hero. So, David, are you ready? Deku asked. David closed his eyes and took a deep breath. Of course I am, David said. Well, someone finally woke up. Took you long enough, Titania said. Phew, almost smacked you, love. Alright, time to kill whatever that is, Evelyn said. Oh, thank goodness. Our chances of victory just increased 8%, Penny said. Penny, I will abstain from asking for the total on that percentage. But I will have whatever intel you can provide. Team JPDE, Jack said. And Titania said. Quite. Oh, whatever, just. Team, get ready, Jack said. Come on, team. Let's go plus ultra, Deku said. Plus ultra, Titania asked. It means to go beyond your limits, Deku said. That's much better than get ready, Evelyn said. Cheeky rabbit, Jack said. Then let's go plus ultra, then David said. Plus ultra, the others yelled. The monster then came out of the water and instantly crushed the positive fighting spirit. Okay, that's bigger than I expected, David said. Minus 20%, Penny said. Well, at least it can't regenerate, I think, Titania said. So, think you two can freeze that? I do, Jack, Evelyn asked. Not even with everyone's aura combined together, carrots. Now that I think about it, Jack said. Best not to risk it. And I don't have enough ice dust to freeze that thing. It would also probably break out before it was completely covered, Deku said. A giant pyro-obsidian dragon had now emerged from the water. Oh, this is so unfair, Evelyn yelled. It stopped coming out of the water, Titania said. With that reach, I don't think it matters much, Jack said. So, I guess we should, Penny said. Get out of the way, Deku shouted. Deku quickly turned and pushed off, using Black Whip to pull the others away too. Everyone okay, Jack asked. Yeah. Thanks for the save, Izuku, David said. No problem. I doubt any of us want to become a pancake, Deku said. How can something that big move that fast, Titania asked. Why don't you ask him? He's your cousin or something, isn't he, Evelyn asked. I detect activity coming from the tail end, Penny said. Take cover, Jack yelled. Amber had heard the explosion, caused by the monster's attack, and start to head towards them. Oh, I wouldn't do that if I were you, the girl said. You have no power on me, Amber said. And you on me. If you leave, I will join the fight as well, the girl said. Fine. Then I guess I will focus on you, Amber said. If you can catch me. Which the girl said. Back at the lake. Damn it, this thing packs a punch, David said. Yeah. But it needs to recharge, Titania said. Titania. Stop. Don't, Deku yelled. Titania charged at the monster. As she entered the water, she received a massive electric shock and was thrown back. Titania, Penny shouted. Deku then caught Titania. He's a giant metal dragon that is producing electricity and it's standing in water, Deku said. Why, Titania tried to speak. Oh, crap. You're paralyzed, aren't you, David asked. Now I wish Kaminari was here. He would be able to absorb the dragon's electricity, Deku said. You can wish for things later. He's taken a liking to us, David shouted. David used Pyrrha's inspiration to push himself back, while Deku used Black Whip to pull him and Titania back. The three crashed into the workshop by the lake. David. Izuku. Are you two alright in there, Evelyn asked. Fine, David said. I've experienced much worse, Deku said. Deku then notices two tendrils of Black Whip on either side of himself. He had been so focused on getting away from the dragon that he hadn't realized he had used Black Whip from his back, though the tendrils had emerged from the neck of his suit. Remembering how Black Whip tore his gauntlet to shreds the first time he used it, he thought about how he could parts of his suit that could allow Black Whip to pass through. Maybe something similar to Mairo's hero outfit. Maybe he could ask Enrico if he could do that for him. But right now he had to focus back on the battle at hand. Son of a Titania said. Titania, no. You stay down and away until you've recovered, Deku said. Least. Go, Titania said. And leave you unguarded and defenseless. Fat chance, David said. Then at least one of you go, Titania said. I'll go, I'll be of more help. No offense, Deku said. No taken. Better you than me, David said. Deku then left to help the others, leaving David to protect Titania. David also started to think of a plan to defeat the monster. Why are we standing around here? Andrea asked. Where would you rather be? Howard asked. In the midst. Killing one or two of them, Andrea said. Didn't you say you wanted an occasion to fight them again? Howard asked. Evelyn and the stud. I don't care about the others. And reducing the amount of threats would make it easier for us down the road, no. The goo girl is almost completely paralyzed, Andrea said. You do have a point, Howard said. And a point only, it had better remain, children. I need to protect their retreat and look out for more metal monstrosities, but I couldn't help but overhear you. So despite my sentry role and my distaste I have for hitting children, you'd better stay at a safe distance from my daughter and students. Are we clear? Peach asked. Safe. Safe for who? Andrea asked. Safe for you, Peach said. As I was about to tell her. We only have orders to observe, Howard said. Don't you mean tell him? Peach asked. Ha. Why would I? Howard said. Andrea then began to laugh. Wait a minute. You're a guy? Howard asked. What are you doing? Amber asked. Trying to keep my distance, the girl said. And yet you're not pushing that broom as hard as you could. You're staying close enough so I can chase you, Amber said. I may not be used to fighting magic, but you're not used to fighting, period, aren't you? The girl asked. What? Amber said. You've only just now noticed I've been leading you on a goose chase and you haven't even considered that maybe both of us joining the fight would be in their best interest, the girl said. I don't, Amber said. Never mind. Now. Let me try something new, the girl said. Back at the lake, Team JPDE were trying their best to deal with the monster, but nothing seemed to be very effective against it. Penny's lasers and Deku using high-powered Air Force shot, but they did very little and they wouldn't be able to keep it up long enough to defeat the monster. David then got an idea of how to defeat the monster. You thought of something? Titania asked. Yeah. Hopefully. Team, I have an idea, David said. What kind of idea? Jack asked. We can use our homework, David said. Partner, I don't think that's going to affect it whole body, Jack said. But that's exactly the point, isn't it? Evelyn asked. I see. What should we aim for? Jack asked. The torso. That's the most optimal target in terms of structure, Penny said. I see. But that makes an accurate throw hard. Izuku, can you use Black Whip to do so? Jack asked. I doubt it. I won't be able to see what I'm doing and the dragon will most likely attack Black Whip, Deku said. Then we need to get in close. That means sealing his movements, incapacitate that tail and then dodge Fang and Claw, Jack said. I can handle that last part. Just take care of the rest for me, Titania said. Titania, are you sure you're back to 100%? David asked. You should let me handle this, Evelyn said. Screw that. I'm not sitting on the sidelines and I'm faster than you, Titania said. But you can't see his attacks coming, and Aiju is faster than you. Ideally he should do it, Evelyn said. No, I shouldn't. Me and Penny are the only ones that can keep its attention on us. If I try, I'll focus me and then I won't be able to get close enough. You two will have to work together, Deku said. What? Titania said. What Evelyn said. Evelyn can see what the dragon will do, while Titania has the speed to react quickly enough to its attacks. If you two work together you should be able to get in and throw the grenade without getting hit, Deku said. A solid plan, Ijuku. I'll stop his movements. Penny, you take care of that tail. Ijuku, keep its attention on you. Partner, you know what to do. We're going in now, Jack said. Roger, David said. Roger, Penny said. Copy that, Deku said. Fine, Evelyn said. Whatever. Let's go, Titania said. You hit me, Amber said. But I can't hurt you. Seems like if I charge Pyro-Obsidian with more of my magic I can make it interact with your body. But that's the extent of it. Oh, well. Knocking you around is certainly satisfying enough on its own. I just need to keep you occupied until my Drago finishes your friends off, the girl said. That's never going to happen, Amber said. Whatever they try, they cannot hurt him. I've seen their fighting styles when they defeated my Monstro and I accounted for everything, the girl said. And that's exactly why, Amber said. Excuse me, the girl said. David focused and activated Jack's inspiration. Slow world, David shouted. The monster's movements then began to slow. I got him. Go, David yelled. My turn. Maximum charge. Accuracy 99.43%. Firing now, Penny said. Penny then fired her laser, severing the tail. Tail in the water, Penny said. Good job, Penny. Don't let up, Jack said. Now let's put this guy on ice, Jack said. Jack froze the monster in place. Go. Now, Jack yelled. Titania and Evelyn start to charge at the monster. Hey! Big guy! Over here, Deku yelled, firing high-powered air blasts distracting the monster. Almost payback time, you filthy reptile, Titania said. And Evelyn Damarot goes for. Oh, shit, Evelyn yelled. Evelyn, why did you? Jack asked. Jets of water then began to fire from its chest. Titania then stood in front of Evelyn. Titania, Evelyn said. Sick and tired of your bullshit, Titania said. All of a sudden there was currents of strong winds. This wind. Ijuku, is this you? Jack asked. This isn't me. I can control the wind, Deku said. Titania, your semblance. I think you activated your semblance, Penny said. Evelyn, hurry. Throw the dust grenade, David yelled. Go to hell, Evelyn yelled, throwing the grenade. The grenade exploded and increased the weight of the monster, causing it to fall. But they... What? How? The girl asked. No one is invincible. And if you focus too much on what you know, you're not prepared for the unexpected. And speaking of which, Amber said. You didn't, the girl said. Seems like controlling pre-obsidian is not that hard, after all, Amber said. Ha! Team JPDE 2, Metal Monsters 0, David said. That was amazing, you two, Deku said. Great job, girls. Great teamwork, everyone, Jack said. The sounds of the enemy collapsing under its own weight were a much satisfying soundtrack to our victory, Penny said. That was way too close. Why did we only bring one of those things? Evelyn asked. Okay, I take back what I said about studying. That was scary, Titania said. On the other side of the market. So? I guess she was blinded with science or something, Andrea asked. I guess Howard said. Shouldn't we be getting out of here? Andrea asked. Yeah, let's, Howard said. Back with Team JPDE and Titania. Speaking of scaresome, Titania. When do you think the winds will die down? Penny asked. Hell if I know. I don't even know exactly what Titania said. All of a sudden Deku was hit by something and was sent fly. What the Deku said? What the girl said? Ijuku, Jack said. Oh, no. Is it an enemy attack? Penny asked. Not exactly. I seem to have overshot a little, Amber said. Amber, David asked. Overshot what? Titania asked. The little girl, Amber said. The little girl, the others asked. Who? Even Deku asked. Who are the girl said. Deku was then hit multiple times, but they were so weak that Deku didn't feel any pain. Hate you, hate you, hate you, the girl said repeatedly. My name is Genera, you're a big meanie and I hate you, Genera yelled. The other then came over. Ijuku, are you? Oh my, Penny said. This is our attacker, Jack asked. But she's Evelyn said. Good gods, she's even more of a runt than I thought, Titania said. I hate all of you. And especially you, Genera yelled. Hi again, Amber said. Genera screamed and ran away. What just happened? Titania asked. Our young magician doesn't seem to have a grasp on how to properly use her powers yet. Well, I'm not that much experienced myself, but at least I'm versed enough in the theory of it. She seems self-taught, Amber said. And she's not at all versed in hand-to-hand, Deku said. Ijuku, are you hurt? Any injuries? Penny asked. No. My aura held up and her punches were more like taps, Deku said. Well, that's good to hear, Jack said. I wanna pat her head, David said. You what? Jack asked. Oh my gosh, yes, Evelyn said. Are you nuts? She's tried to kill us twice, Titania asked. Have you met these two? Deku asked. But she was adorable, David said. David, I don't think that'd be advisable, Penny said. And her cheeks looked so soft and pinchable, Evelyn said. I know, David said. What the fuck is wrong with the two of you? Titania asked. We should probably let them get it all out of their systems, Amber said. And I want to do her braids. And paint her nails, Evelyn said. No, me, David said. She didn't even wear nail polish, you cretins, Titania yelled. The two continued like that all the way back to Beacon. So our mysterious guardian was indeed a young peach, said. And adorable, David and Evelyn said. I will cut you, Titania yelled. Titania. Just let it go, Penny said. Little girl, Peach said. She wasn't like any little girl I've seen. Like any human being, actually, Jack said. For my brief interaction with her. She kind of looked like a grim, Deku said. Her red eyes and skin tone were so atypical. What kind of existence could she be? Penny asked. If she's some kind of faunus, I can't for the life of me guess the animal, Titania said. Hey. Okay, seriously, now, Evelyn said. Oh, that's incidental, Titania said. Let's consider all the clues. Control of Pyre Obsidian, guardian of the city, probably its caretaker too. My guess is that she's like Titania, Evelyn said. Another creation of the boss. A completely different one. Instead of a cloning blob of metal, this time it's a magical girl. But why does she look like that? Jack asked. Are we sure we can rule that out? She may actually be a clone of someone, Deku said. Then who is she a copy of? And it still doesn't explain why she looks like that, David said. Maybe she's a copy of a maiden, and whilst transforming a Grim got absorbed by it, Deku said. Really? Titania asked. You got a better idea? We don't exactly have an expert on metal blob cloning, Deku asked. Fair enough, Titania said. Also, Thiller and the others are humans and fawny, aren't they, Penny asked. They are. So, if this thing can, maybe, create help out of thin air, why go to Weather and the other three for help, David asked. Simple. He doesn't just need any kind of help specifically, Peach said. So he needs a guy who can turn into anything it kills, Evelyn said. Another who can control people through sound, Jack said. A girl who can go faster and faster the longer she keeps moving, Penny said. And another whose semblance gets stronger the more aura she possesses, Deku said. And we have no idea what exactly it does, David said. This is making my head hurt. You shall lead an interesting life, Titania said. We can all talk about it later. For now, you should all go rest up, students, Peach said. Sounds like a good idea. Please let us know how serum development goes, Professor Jack said. Will do, Miss Ivory. Let's all thank the good doctor, who managed to store his formula safely in one of the workshops before his time came, Peach said. And now that Amber learned how to control Pyro-Obsidian with her magic, we should be able to dispatch any metal monsters in a much easier fashion, Penny said. I vote we make her an honorary team member, Evelyn said. Just her. What about me, Titania asked. What about you, Jack asked. Jack, Penny, David and Penny then walked off. I've been helping too. And unlocked a kick-ass semblance, Titania said. Not exactly out of the goodness of your heart, though so. Ta-ta, David said. But that's what Titania said. Titania, they are just messing with you. And let me be the one to say thank you. We wouldn't have been able to defeat that dragon without your help, Deku said. Titania blushed at Deku's words, and he left to join the others. They were. Oh, so we're retaliating now. Foot massage, right now, Titania yelled, casing after them. Don't be stupid, David said. Then make me an honorary team member too, Titania said. You first have to submit the application through the proper channels, Titania Evelyn said. Now. Time to help you out too, Miss Amber, Peach said. At the safe house, Bella was standing on the balcony. You've been all smiles for a week, now. It didn't go that well, Thiller said. He said he'll try his best. That's honestly much more than I thought I was going to get, all things considered, Bella said. All is relative, I guess, Thiller said. Just knowing he doesn't hate me. For now, it's enough. I mean, I know I'm nowhere near the relationship he has with his friends, or Penny, or Evelyn, or Izuku. But I have to take this slow, you know. Especially since we still are technically his enemies, Bella said. You know, Bella. I don't think I've had the chance to ask you this before, but Thiller said. What is it, Bella asked. Why do you like him so much, Thiller asked. That's a bit, Bella said. That was a total bust, Andrea said. Oh. You're back, Bella said. I so needed some fresh air. It was a disaster. One thing after the other, and now the spider guy is giving a report to Creepy Eyes, Andrea said. We don't really care, Thiller said. And weren't you on top of a mountain? Air doesn't get fresher than that, Bella said. First it was going good, you know. The guardian of the city was like, my monster's big, and it was actually winning. And we would have helped if homeroom teacher from hell wasn't there, Andrea said. No, you wouldn't have. Howard wouldn't have let you, Bella said. Next thing I know, bam. The monster's down, teacher is like science, and the blonde hunk and Evelyn wants to give the guardian girl head pats, Andrea said. What's this about head pats, Bella asked. Jealous much, Andrea said. I suggest you leave before Bella explodes you, Thiller said. Not my fault she's mad, Andrea said. Andrea the left. I hate him, Bella said. I know. Want to shock Weza to make you feel better? Thriller asked. If it leads to finding out what happened to Summer, then yes, Bella said. The two then entered the safe house. End of chapter 37.